Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. I call the meeting, regular meeting to order for January the 6th, 2026. I respectfully acknowledge that we work within Treaty 4 territory, the land of the Cree, Saulteaux, Dakota, Lakota, Nakota, and homeland of the Red River Métis. The spiritual and practical relationship to the lands creates a rich heritage for our learning and our life as a community. We shall honor and respect these treaties. Be it resolved that the agenda for the January 6, 2026 regular meeting of council be adopted. Moved by Councillor Powell, second by Councillor Duane Whyte. All in favor? It's carried. Deputy Moriaux will not be attending tonight. And we have CFO Gnida attending by video. Be it resolved that the minutes for the December the 16th, 2025 regular meeting of council be approved. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor McKenzie. Any discussion? Any errors? Omissions? All in favor? It's carried. Moving down to 6, communications. 6.1, be it resolved that the letter from the Association of Manitoba Municipalities dated November the 19th, 2025 regarding the AMM Trading Company rebate be received. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor Duane Whyte. Any discussion? Councillor Powell?
No.
Okay. This is just on our rebate that we have received from using the trading company of $5,549.18. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 6.2. Be it resolved that the letter dated December the 17th, 2025 from Multi-Material Stewardship, Manitoba regarding the 2026 municipal recycling funding payments be received. Moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Any discussion? Councillor Bobick.
So it says we received $499.38 per ton. Is that, I was under the impression it cost us $1,000 a ton for the, so in reality, it's costing $1,499.38 roughly. The $499 doesn't come off the $1,000.
Yeah, I'd have to double check that.
Okay. No,
What's your question?
what I'm asking is the total price of recycling in the town of Swan River, is it either? We've come to the conclusion that it costs the town of Swan River $1,000 a ton to recycle. So they give us a rebate of $499.38. And I'm saying, is that $1,000 including the $499, or is that taken off the $1,000?
Okay, so then administration can find that out and get back to council?
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion? Councillor Powell.
No, mine was just in regards to that too. I remember that coming through, and I just wanted to make clarification on it.
Okay. Obviously, we know the more that we recycle, the more we're going to get back. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried.
I can't get my computer to work, but you can see it on my phone.
You're okay then?
I'm okay, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
6.3. Be it resolved that the email dated December the 17th, 2025 from the Swan River RCMP Detachment Commander regarding prisoner costs be received. Moved by Councillor Duane Whyte, seconded by Councillor Ainslie Whyte. Discussion? Councillor Duane Whyte.
I appreciate those numbers. In fact, it appears that the rural people that are incarcerated are paid for by the province, the local people we pay for. But it came to mind that Eduardo Giannico, ASS Sergeant, what does that stand for?
Go ahead.
First of all, to your first point, it's not that rural residents are charged a rural. It's where the offense occurred. So if it was a rural resident arrested in the town of Swan River, the town of Swan River pays for it. It has nothing to do with their residence. It's where the occurrence happened. And the AS, it's acting staff sergeant.
Okay.
He's the acting commander. He's not at a staff sergeant rank, so he's called himself acting staff sergeant.
So following up with that segue, I think it appropriate that we invite the acting staff sergeant Giannico to come to a meeting sometime and introduce himself, and we can introduce ourselves and establish that working relationship and improve upon it.
Go ahead.
I did invite him. He's no longer your acting staff sergeant. They're in transition right now. And as soon as they're in a position where they can provide somebody to come here and as your new detachment commander, they will be doing that. It was too hard with the holiday to have him come in, and we knew he was leaving.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion on the resolution itself? All in favor? It's carried. 6.4, be it resolved that the memorandum dated January the 5th, 2026 from the Chief Administrative Officer summarizing the invitation to our council to select a delegate for the Swan Valley Housing Task Force Champion Group be received. Moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Councillor Ainslie. Whyte. Any discussion? Councillor McKenzie.
I'm just curious who's pushing this. I didn't see any kind of.
There's a group there, if you look in the letter, who is all on there already. It's from CMHA, Albert Chartrand Friendship Center, Prairie Mountain Health, Manitoba Housing, RCMP. This is just it's a group
I guess
that's working as a whole,
there's no
the task force.
coordinator, for example, or somebody that's central.
Not specifically, no.
I think it's something important to our community. We should have a rep.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Something that we will have a resolution for to appoint at our next meeting. Then if we, or do we, go ahead?
Would you like me to put it in next week's COW for discussion before a resolution
Sure.
comes forward?
Yeah, I was willing to do it, but if somebody else wants it, that's fine. But we can have it in a COW meeting and talk about it. Okay, moving on then. Where are we here? 7.1. Be it resolved that the Chief Administrative Officer's report be received. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Ainslie Whyte. Any discussion on the Chief Administrative Officer's report? Councillor Powell.
The only thing, I wonder, the arena new development, that is to be met with Glen, or McKenzie and Clayton. That's happening on January 8th, just the two of you?
On which?
On the new development?
Oh, yeah,
The new development, you're meeting on January 8th
on the
with
arena
Clayton?
project.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't have any details other than the date.
Okay, no, it's just, I was wondering, that's set to be done then. That's all.
Yeah, it's similar to what the Parks and Rec Committee went through a couple weeks ago. Councillor Whyte.
Very thorough report, Mr. Tewnion, thank you for that. Relative to grants, you see February the 5th is the deadline, which is not far away at all. Is there a standard form that the community members can come and pick that form up at the office and fill it out when it's best for them?
I'll be stuck, Councillor Whyte. I remember us going through this process last year. I don't remember if there's a standard form, but I can assure you if somebody contacts the office, we'll direct them accordingly.
So community members who are watching right now, that's a pretty short deadline. I can think of the Swan Valley Snowmobile Club, Swan Valley Outdoors, lots of people that we support, Swan Valley Sports Fish. If they're interested in trying to get support from the town, which we support all those things one way or the other, they better get the applications in soon. February the 5th is the deadline.
Correct. That's the same thing every year, and we've done our advertising. I'm just notifying council of that now.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Go ahead.
Regarding the bylaws, just specifically to the unsightly one, it says administration is drafting a revised bylaw and amendments will be presented to council. Who participates in writing the amendments, and are we made aware of that process? Like, here's where the challenges were, here's what we changed, and then it's like, it's proposed to us that way? Is that the idea?
You're planning to do that at the CAL meeting? Go ahead.
Correct. The process is, you know, we have a myriad of folks involved in administration. Ultimately, I do the final review, and then eventually a draft is presented to council. Whether that is at a CAL meeting for a fulsome discussion, or it's presented for first reading. Generally, it's at a CAL meeting, so it's an opportunity for you to see our final product, support or non-support, offer whatever input you have. Eventually, it goes to council for first, second, and third reading.
Okay, but we get to see the before and the after?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's called a red line version.
Yes.
Yeah, we provide
You're
it
right,
to
I
you
went
so you
through-
can see
or
exactly
maybe
what
you
the
went
changes
through
are.
that with me, yes, okay, I remember that. There was one more thing I was gonna ask. Okay, that's all for me.
Councillor
Oh,
Duane.
no, that's not all for me.
Okay.
Sorry, the MTI meeting, it said they'll be providing, they're committed to providing an update at the beginning of January. At what point do we reach back out, or how do we, or do we just wait, or?
We have that session in camera tonight, and then we're gonna be setting up a meeting with MTI.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
okay, thanks.
Councillor Duane Whyte.
Just reading on the Veterans Hall and the cameras, I see it might be worth considering installing our own cameras to ensure adequate coverage. It sort of infers to me that it's not adequate, if we want to ensure adequate. Is there any movement in that world?
Is that, go ahead.
Sorry, I was answering a question that you asked. That's what the report is, a question that you asked. And so what was your question to me now?
Well, at the end, it said, since it might be worth considering installing our own cameras to ensure adequate coverage. That sort of infers to me that there's a consideration process occurring. We're going to talk about that.
Well, Councillor Whyte, this is a report from me to council, so I'm basically saying to council, if the will of council is to discuss that further, then you would advise me and I'll make sure that happens.
I personally think that needs to happen.
If you would like me to add it to a CAL meeting, then
Perfect, yes,
you have the
please.
process for that. Is that what you want me to do?
That's fine, thank you.
Okay.
Anything further? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 7.2, be it resolved the Director of Public Works report be received. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Ainslie Whyte. Discussion? Councillor Duane Whyte.
Just a comment, I think, Mr. Harvey, your explanation of how the snow plowing occurred was thorough. I actually understood it, having a picture in there, pictures help me.
Yeah,
And the comment where they were doing triple shift, double shifts, 22 hours per day with a rotating shift. And then it's understanding that people are concerned that the snow is not going fast enough, but I hope they understand there's 3 feet of snow fell in 2 or 3 days. And you guys are doing 22-hour shifts. Other than buying another $500,000
22.
grader, which just happens once every 5 years, I think we'll have to put up with a little snow. So thank your team for the extra shifts that they're doing, please.
Councillor Powell.
Yeah, I really do, there was quite a bit of talk about how much snow had fallen and the cleanup and so on and so forth. I think overall, it was really great how much was done. I think the other, as much as everybody's trying their best to keep everything clean and yards and everything, streets, okay and stuff like that. I really think that, you travel to the south, or to the west of us, to like Hamsack or anywhere, Kenora or anywhere like that. Streets aren't done there. Like, it's hard to, we just happen to end up touring through there. And I was like, wow, these streets aren't done. You just drive on them. And there's no grader that goes down these roads. So it's just something that, you you really appreciate when you come back to your town and go, wow, these roads are done compared to, you know, other roads. So just kudos to you.
Okay, anything further? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 7.3, be it resolved, the Director of Recreation report be received. Moved by Councillor Dwayne Whyte, seconded by Councillor McKenzie. Discussion? Councillor Dwayne Whyte.
God gave me a brain to have questions interested in. I appreciate the complexity of what you're doing over there, Director, and there's a lot of good stuff. I appreciate that, what you're doing. And it appears every time I read them, you're getting better, you're proactive, you're doing good stuff, so thank you too, please.
Just, council, remember that they should be asking questions to the resolution, not making comments on the resolution. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 7.4, be it resolved that the December 2025 Swan Handy Transit Van report be received. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Council reports. Councillor Bobick.
Thank you, Mayor Jacobson. Just to kind of recap the recycling thing, you know, why I'm asking the question about the numbers. I guess once we get the cubic volume measured out there, Director Harvey's company can measure that, we'll figure that out. We'll be able to figure out what it costs to put a cubic ton in there. I guess my thoughts on that are, so we can explain to the provincial government, maybe we need more money for this, it's cheaper for us to put it in the landfill, so maybe we should up the ante. We need some ammunition to go there and say, look, we're further northern, it costs us a lot of money to do this recycling, you're gonna have to ante up. That's one of my thoughts. Just you'll notice in the reports, there's airport, we'll be doing some discussion at Powell about the fuel cards, about the snow removal. There's been some ideas shot around, so that'll all come up in Powell. Also, and we'll talk about the snow removal in the town of Swan River and what is happening and which way we're going with that also. Some different ideas to just to report. That'll all be in Powell. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor McKenzie.
Yeah, the one thing I can report on is during the height of that blizzard, we had a meeting with the arena committee. I'm truly impressed with the work that committee has done, trying to move forward and get grants. Now, there's a lot of things beyond their control that they've had to deal with, like federal elections and changes in government and that are slowing the process down, but I think they've passed one of the significant hurdles already, so they're quite optimistic that in the not too distant future that there will be some decision one way or on the other from the federal government whether that's going to be a go or not.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Powell.
No, yeah, not too much to right at this moment, but other than the libraries had lots of things going on in the last little while, and yeah, anybody who needs something to do, like they have things that are on their Facebook all the time, and things are happening there. There's kids programs, there's adult programs. They've got a really good group of people working there that are really promoting the library. So just that's it.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Duane Whyte.
Not a lot. I had the pleasure of being with, he's not there, Deputy Mayor Moriaux and myself took Dr. Ashley Montreur on a tour of the valley the other day, a very short tour. I went up to the ski hill, and she's an R2, she's a resident doctor, she'll be graduating in June. And I think we as a community, and especially we as a medical service team, have to be very aware those people are in town, and we have good communication with the clinic and try to get them out and show them the down-to-earth things that are happening. On a local level, I met with a business owner today, and she was ecstatic about from her non-scientific number is that crime appears to be plummeting, which sort of supports the data we got from the RCMP a couple of meetings ago. She said, it's just not happening. We're not seeing people. And that Facebook app that many of us have, they're not showing up. But there was 2 or 3 a day in the past. Then I also met with the presidents of the local Swan Valley Snowmobile Club, and we'll be talking about, we have some concerns, they need some help, and that's on a cow agenda coming up next week. So we appreciate the snowmobile people from both North and South Mountain for the work that they do to bring economic monies into our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Ainslie Whyte.
So you had mentioned that we would be appointing committee members this month?
Yeah,
is it?
it'll be probably at our next meeting. CEO Tewnion, we'll be doing
We have
that.
that in Cal for discussion.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I had sent an email about the incident at Outlook about their drinking water. What is the best way for me to, I just wanted to have discussion about if we think everything that we have in place is enough and if there's anything we can learn from their situation. I thought it was of such a nature that it would be worth just a discussion. And that's not me thinking that we don't have things in place
Yeah.
enough. I'm just saying, I think we should just cross our Ts and,
We can add that to a COW meeting, and then we can have that discussion there, and everybody put up to date or what, if we're missing something, or if we're not, educated on it, then that's an opportunity to have those discussions during our COW meeting.
okay,
And if there's something missing, then we have an opportunity to make some amendments and changes to it.
wonderful, that's all.
That's it.
Thank you.
Okay. For me, just prior to Christmas, we had the Recreation Committee meeting, as Councillor McKenzie had mentioned. We had a really good discussion there, and everybody brought up to date on that. I've been setting up a meeting with Chief Janai on various items at the end of January. Still working with the Swan Valley Health Facilities Foundation on finding a new Secretary Treasurer, which I think we're getting close to that. And the vet board as well, we have a candidate that's willing to move into that position. So those 2 committees will be meeting to look at those positions. Also, I've been working on finding, I shouldn't say finding, there was a person that made a presentation at the AMM on economic development and EDOs in particular. And she is willing to come up to Swan Valley to make the presentation during a G4, so I'm hoping, I know G4 is going to be on January the 19th, so I'm hoping that we can get that set up, but my plan is to hopefully have her there at that meeting to make a presentation for the G4. Other than that, it's been busy Christmas and New Year's, so it's back to work we go.
Did everybody's computer shut off?
No, mine didn't.
Thanks. Back up.
Mine is. Can't be believed.
Yours went off, too?
Do you need time to get your computer back on again?
No, he was just talking about it, so I was
Okay.
sorry.
How about you, Councillor?
I'm in the dark most of the time.
Where is Councillor Bobick on that? You guys can share?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Moving on to 8.1. Be it resolved that the Northwest Regional Library 2026 budget be accepted as received.
Oh, yeah, no, this is-
Moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Councillor Ainslie Whyte. Any discussion? Councillor Bob.
So am I under the impression there's no audit done?
There was not.
That we don't need one?
There's an audit.
Is there? Okay.
There was.
Sorry, my mistake.
Any other discussion? Any comments from our library rep?
No, I think everything, like I said, everything is going very well now. Needs to clear some snow off the roof, but it's going.
Okay, go ahead.
How is it decided the contributions from Swan Valley West and the town of Swan River?
That's an agreement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, part of the library district or board that's been set up and decided upon. I don't know what the actual figure is, but it is decided upon the board itself and the arrangement between the two communities that share the Northwest Regional Library. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 8.2. Be it resolved that the Swan Valley Planning District audited financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2024 be received. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor Duane Whyte. Discussion? Go ahead.
I'm just gonna find it here, my computer's just coming back. Yeah, on the, on the statement of operations, I've got a question here, okay? I thought I had it.
This is where you were asking me
Yeah, that's
the
what I was
expenses.
asking you. I have to think about it quickly. The amount of money, I don't have it right in front of me, the money paid for, did they have a development officer? It was insignificant, it was like $2,500, and yet the amount paid out in the budget for paperwork kind of thing was $25,000. I found it kind of an odd.
So
I'm trying to-
who's on the planning district for us?
Pardon? I wish
I know that Deputy Mayor Moriaux is on there. Who else is on the planning district? Councillor Bobick?
I'd like to just specifically get it, but I can't find it.
I would have rather.
Are you looking for an answer for that?
Yeah.
Here we
Right
go,
now,
okay.
it's just Deputy Mayor Moriaux and Councillor McKenzie.
Oh, okay. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so I have it here, development officer, actual expense 2454, and office administration 14,000. Like,
And you know what? I can't answer that question because I'm not on the board.
it seems like an odd discrepancy.
I think
You're only
they,
paying the development officer $2,400, and yet you've got $14,000 in office administration.
yeah. I think that what you should do maybe is when you go to your next planning district meeting, you should ask them about that. And now that you brought
On the
the,
planning board,
you are.
okay.
So when you then maybe one day when you come back after you learn that, or speak with the deputy mayor, then maybe you can come back and let us know, because now we're kind of curious. I think I know the answer, but I just don't want to speculate.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any further discussion?
When do
Go
we
ahead.
receive the 2025?
It'll be,
Like, why is it so far?
I'm not too sure if it might be that they don't have as many meetings as they normally do, or maybe if they have to wait for an audit to be done. I don't know why. There's often we will have late financials from some of the boards. I know that we've seen that. It's not, it probably shouldn't happen, but it does happen from time to time.
Thank you.
Did you want to say?
I was just going to reiterate what the mayor said for everybody who's listening. That's the problem, is the planning is for paying that money. It can't be paid until you get a budget, financial statements, mostly audit. So this is the time of year where our CFO is scrambling because we've accounted for that money, but we can't pay it until all the boards get what we need.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, like last meeting, I think you might have seen some payments made for, or levies paid for some of the organizations or some of the boards that were late because some of the information was coming to us late. And we do not pay those levies unless we have these reports or financials done. Okay, further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 8.3, Be it resolved that the 2026 fee schedule for the Recreation Department under the category Event Essentials be amended. The regular rate for a bench shall be set at $8 and the resident rate for a bench set at $7. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor Duane Whyte. Any discussion? Councillor Powell.
I'm sorry, okay, so when we're talking about benches here, I don't know if I,
So I think there was an error in the documents, so this is just an amendment that's been made, but I don't know if Recreation or CEO wants to speak on that.
So despite all of our quality assurance checks and approval of council, yes, it was a typographical error. So the theory being that a town resident gets a discounted rate, those two numbers were transposed. Instead of 8 and 7, it was 7 and 8. So because it's a legal document that's approved by council, had to follow my sword and admit that we've made an error and I need council's approval to correct the typographical error.
okay,
And so a bench costs $8, but it costs $7 for a resident of the town of Swan River. Those two numbers were mixed up.
okay, and a bench, like, are we talking,
Go ahead.
that's kind of what I'm,
We have benches that you can rent, they're just plastic. You can see, there's some at the arena, there's some.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you've
okay.
seen them.
Yes,
I know
I know,
you've seen
okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 8.4. Be it resolved that the 2026 emergency plan be approved. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Duane Whyte. Any discussion? Councillor Duane Whyte.
I like everything I'm reading. I'm sure everything needs brushing up. I think it's really important to have a tabletop exercise, a seminar, what is the word I'm looking for? Do a fake emergency and put all our entities to work to see how they work together and they can communicate together. Having that list of not putting us all together, going through a simulation, that's the word. Airplane crash, hydro failure, what happens? It's on paper, but does it work?
Okay.
15 years ago.
Councillor Powell.
Like, I don't know how you would, like, it's a great idea, but, in reality, I don't know how we would do that, but,
Councillor Powell, the question should come to me, but go ahead.
We do that. We just had a tabletop exercise for the airport, and it's mandated every year. We have an actual exercise. So those things are practiced by law, required.
Okay, further discussion? Councillor Ainslie Whyte.
I just wondered if, I found this document extremely lengthy, and I just thought, is this the like if we had an emergency occurring, is this our go-to document? Is this the reference, or do we have like some sort of command or a special binder somewhere where it's more black and white for an emergency situation?
Go ahead.
I agree 100%. This 111-page document is cumbersome and bureaucratic. It's a provincial requirement for us to have this, and it's a provincial requirement for it to be approved by council annually.
Yeah.
So this is the formal document, but in practice, it's well practiced. We know what to do, and this is just a formal document. Let the province know that we know what to do.
I guess I was just referring to more at the practical level. So from my experience, what I've learned is, like in an emergency, your adrenaline's rushing, everybody who's a decision maker is amped up. Sometimes you can't remember your own phone number, never mind other things. And so oftentimes it's like, you have your directive, and I understand that's a provincial requirement, so we've got that. Check. But in an emergency situation, and I run to this document, and I'm looking for what to do in the event of like, and I'm talking the likely, the most plausible, maybe this would be a risk-based approach, but I just thought, because as for me coming in being new and looking at such a lengthy document, it was daunting, and I thought, if we were in an emergency and we're, okay, let's go to the mattresses, like what do we gotta do? it just felt like that wasn't necessarily the most user-friendly, I guess, was just a comment. So I just wondered if there was something that was like, this is our legislative requirements checked off, and then do we have something else that's maybe more?
Director Harvey.
Yeah, like we have simplified ERPs, emergency response plans. So like there's a water treatment emergency response plan, and it is 5 pages. So it just lists power failure, chlorinator failure, broken water main. It's just kind of simplified, and then like there's an ERP for the airport. So it's crash off airport, crash on airport. I think hijacking is in there, but it's like a simplified one, so you just flip to that section. This is what we're dealing with.
And we would have the same for the pool and,
Yeah, I couldn't speak specifically to those, but we do have simplified ones for references and emergency.
okay. We would have that for the arena and site specifics? Okay, awesome, thank you.
Yeah, in case of emergency, it's council would be somewhat part of it, but we would have administration and coordination, all that's done. We would have some of the responsibility as far as if there's resolutions and participation to a certain degree, but it would be mainly spearheaded and ran by administration.
And again, this is the provincial level requirement. Emergency Measures Organization, every municipality has to have it by provincial legislation. But yes, we do have individual plans. For example, the ones Darren talked about, Director Harvey talked about, and like I said, we just went through the airport scenario, which is a Transport Canada requirement. So I believe you're in good hands.
Okay, Councillor Whyte, Councillor Duane Whyte.
Ditto, they have named the phone numbers of the construction companies, of the phone numbers of water companies, but the phone numbers of medical service people. It's a lovely flow chart, and people decide for each job. In the past, we've asked council to sit on some of those committees, because it could help. But it's a nice flow chart, and it's simple.
Awesome.
Okay, further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 8.5, be it resolved that the signing officers of the town of Swan River be either Mayor Lance Jacobson or Deputy Mayor David Moriaux, and either Chief Administrative Officer Will Tewnion or Chief Financial Officer Terence Gnida. Be it further resolved that the check signing authority be approved for Councillor Bobick only in the absence of both Mayor Lance Jacobson and Deputy Mayor David Moriaux. And be it further resolved, the signing authority be given to Director of Public Works Darren Harvey only in the absence of the Chief Administrative Officer Will Tewnion. Moved by Councillor Duane Whyte, seconded by Councillor Ainslie Whyte. Any discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 9.1. Be it resolved that the Swan Valley Regional Initiative for a Strong Economy minutes from the meeting held May the 22nd, 2025 be received, including the resolution that instead of an audit, the audit that municipal partners will be presented with a financial information package similar to the 2023 financial year, and the resolution to approve the 2025 budget totaling $50,000. Moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by,
Your worship, can I speak?
I think we have to bring the resolution forward, and then you,
Okay.
so seconded by Councillor Bobick. Now you can have
Okay,
discussion.
now I would like to table the RISE budget for 2025, and I have some materials that we can give to council where we can examine the idea of an economic development officer. I've got a little chart with the average salaries that are sort of prominent in Manitoba, some more things, the benefits of having an economic development officer, and lastly, the Arm of Woodlands, which is north of Warren, Manitoba, just recently put out an ad to hire an economic development officer. It's very detailed, and council could look at that, so it could give you the material tonight
So,
and at the COW meeting.
I'll stop you at that.
Okay.
You have you have brought forward, you want to table this resolution, so I need a seconder to table. Seconded by Councillor Duane Whyte. All in favor of tabling it? Okay, that's carried. So you want to table it till the next
Till-
meeting,
Yes.
the next regular
Yeah,
meeting?
but I would like to have this,
That's fair, yeah, you could do that.
I can give you the documents tonight, or you can get them at the county, whatever you choose.
So Councillor McKenzie, if I'm understanding, you want me to add that as a topic to next week's COW meeting?
Yes.
And I will gladly distribute your documentation to council prior to that, so it can be discussed.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, perfect. All right, so then we'll move on to 9.2. Be it further resolved that the 2025 Swan Valley Regional Initiative for a Strong Economy contribution in the amount of $17,560.35 be approved for payment. Moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by,
I thought we just tabled this.
no, that was just the information on the financials. So I need a mover just to bring it to the table,
Okay,
so I
sure.
need a seconder. Councillor Duane Whyte, discussion.
No, I'd like
Councillor
to
McKenzie.
have it tabled.
Okay, so you're asking to have this tabled as well? You want to have this tabled to the next regular meeting?
Yes.
Okay, seconder to have it tabled, Councillor Duane Whyte. All in favor of having it tabled? Okay, it's carried, so that's, those two items will be tabled to our next regular meeting.
Who was the seconder?
Councillor Duane Whyte.
I might be out of order, Your Worship, but on the first one, I'd like to see a document from RISE, like a financial statement from the entire year for 2024, 24.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah, kind of out of order, but we can find some information for you from what we've received. CFO Gnida can share that with us through the CAO. Okay, so then we shall move on to 10.1. Be it resolved that the 2026 Northwest Regional Library levy in the amount of $102,538.30 be approved for payment once the audited financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2025 have been received. Moved by Councillor Duane Whyte, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. So for Councillor Ainslie Whyte, doesn't mean that we'll pay them for the levy. They have to have all their financials done
Okay.
prior to.
I was processing and that was what I'm thinking, okay, what am I agreeing to here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas the town of Swan River used municipal equipment, materials, and labor to carry out private works on private property under the Municipal Act Clause 252E and set the fees and charges for the works under Clause 252(1)A of the Act. And whereas sufficient time has been allowed for payment of such outstanding amounts as listed on the attached Schedule A, totaling $3,181.24. Be it resolved that each of the unpaid amounts listed on Schedule A be added to the corresponding tax roll and collected in that manner. And be it further resolved that notice be sent to each property owner detailing the amounts being added to the taxes and advising that interest will accrue on the amounts in the same manner as for unpaid property taxes effective February the 1st, 2026. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Ainslie Whyte. Discussion? Councillor Ainslie Whyte.
Is this common to have these types of outstanding?
I don't want to say common, but it can happen, like from time to time. Go ahead.
The practice of recovering in this manner is common.
Oh, is that what you meant?
Well, kind of twofold now that you say that, because I was actually wondering just about the pickups and whether that's a common thing that is it all? It just seems like it's, I don't know.
If I could ask CFO Gnida. CFO Gnida, can you answer that question?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Are these lack of payments for garbage pickups a common issue?
For some businesses, yes. Some businesses tend not to pay their bills.
And we charge them interest on a monthly basis?
Yes.
And we've notified them already that they, like a couple times, I'm sure. Okay, thank you very much.
Any further discussion? All in favor? It's carried. .3. Be it resolved that the following accounts be received. General accounts checks number 33494 in the amount of $7,042.56 as listed on Schedule A. Payroll accounts checks number P5605 and P5606 and direct deposit payments totaling $136,210.33 is listed on Schedule B. And direct deposit payments totaling $865,542.98 as listed on Schedule C. Moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Councillor Whyte. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 10.4. Be it resolved that the following accounts be approved for payment. General accounts checks number 33495 to number 33520 totaling $58,748.59 as listed on Schedule A. Direct deposit payments totaling $205,098.06 as listed on Schedule B. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor McKenzie. Discussion? All in favor?
Your worship. That's the one I talked about.
Oh, right, yes, okay. Any further discussion? I thought maybe I seen a hand going up. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? It's carried. 10.5, whereas sections 326 of the Municipal Act provides that a municipality may impose supplementary taxes, and subsections 306 provide that a municipality may cancel or reduce taxes upon receipt of assessment alterations from Manitoba Assessment Services. Be it resolved that the assessment alterations provided by Manitoba Assessment Services on December the 19th, 2025 be made to the property tax rolls with the resulting increases totaling $1,144.65 and the resulting decreases totaling $329.26. Moved by Councillor Duane Whyte, seconded by Councillor Powell. Any discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 11.1. Be it resolved that bylaw number 22, 2025 be amended in accordance with the revisions outlined in the attached red line document. Be it further resolved that bylaw number 22, 2025 being a bylaw of the town of Swan River to impose a tax on accommodation be read a second time. Moved by Councillor Duane Whyte, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. .2. Be it resolved that bylaw number 14, 2024, being a bylaw of the town of Swan River to authorize the expenditure and borrowing of money for the installation of curb, gutter, and asphalt pavement at the 300 block of 13th Avenue South and the 1300 block of 3rd Street South as a local improvement be read a second time. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor McKenzie. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. We have nothing for notice of motion. I'll move on to members' privilege. Councillor Ainslie, what? Your privilege. You want to talk about anything that has nothing to do with
Okay, lovely.
reports or anything like that.
So, if somebody makes, has a complaint, like against a bylaw, do we have it written somewhere, whether it can be verbal or whether it has to be written down? Is that a policy or a process, or is there a directive in that manner, or in that regard?
CFO Tewnion?
You mean a complaint, like, you mean about an infraction?
Yeah, like let's say I had a neighbor down the street that kept letting their dog out run around. And I have a complaint against house number XYZ. How must I bring that forward in order to make the complaint against that?
Oh, the
individual?
process.
Yeah,
Well, you could call the office, you could send an email to the town website, well, the town email address. You could come and talk to the CAO, you could flag down the bylaws. There's many different ways of a complaint being received.
okay. Because I was curious because with my background, it's like in safety, we don't save trees. Everything gets documented. And if it's not written down, it never happened, so that's that's my background. And so when we start talking about conversations being had, or, and especially when we're talking about contravening a law, then I just wondered if it made sense in my mind for us to need that in writing, like a written complaint, yeah. And whereas otherwise it kind of seemed to be hearsay, like I say, Tanya did this, and Tanya says, and it's like, but if somebody has to sign it and put their name to it, suddenly I don't know, I just thought it made sense to me for that to be a policy or a rule. But right now, we can, if I'm a resident in town, I can just catch, can I just catch Duane or Councillor Whyte on the side of the road and complain, and then you would bring it forward to?
No. The complaints don't come from the councillors, the complaints will come from the individual to administration.
Okay,
That's would be the process. Go ahead.
My concern with, respectfully, I understand what you're saying. I would love it all to be in writing, to have a perfect record. But for example, if you get an 85-year-old person who doesn't know how to work a computer and wants to phone me up and say, I have a problem with, a barking dog in my backyard, I wouldn't say, well, I'm not taking a complaint because I need it in writing. I would make notes of the complaint so there's some record of it, something like that.
okay,
So,
okay.
Go ahead.
And the bylaw officer would observe it and then have like a document for the warning. So like someone, you could say, my neighbor's dog is barking, but the bylaw officer wouldn't issue a fine just based off that phone call. He would have to go there and observe it barking, and then he would have the documentation based on
that would be written down, if
Yeah.
that was his experience, to confirm whatever the,
Yeah, or if someone called and said, my neighbor's lawn, it's 3 feet high, you would actually have to go there, observe it, and document it, so the complaint can be made by phone, but then it's documented there, you wouldn't issue like a fine, just based on a phone call or whatever, he has to observe it.
that makes sense, okay. Okay, and then lastly, I just wondered, CAO Tewnion was, sorry, I just want to make sure was kind enough to quickly return to me on my question about having people on the voters list, assigned to the voters list when they own property, or when we can do that. And then you had replied, and I wondered if you could elaborate on when we're gonna put people on the voters list going forward and just confirm what you had written in the email, which it would be difficult for me to pull up at this moment, but I'm sure you recall what we're gonna do going forward. So if you can just share that, or how do we make that so?
I just wanna, most voters lists get updated when there's a provincial or federal election.
They get updated based on whatever information they're provided with, and I suggested to Councillor Whyte my common sense approach to it. I don't know if that's something we should be speaking to openly like this, or if we want to have a camera discussion perhaps,
Okay.
might be better.
Yeah, that might be maybe a little bit more appropriate.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
Nope, thank you.
Okay. So then we can set that for in a future discussion then in camera then? Maybe even at a Cowan or something?
That's what I'll do if you're okay with that, Councillor Whyte. I'll put on next week's Cowan camera.
Perfect.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councillor Duane White.
So it seems I slipped in some of the protocols because I was giving compliments to two of our directors on the left there, and then it was suggested, Your Worship, that we should only be asking questions, not giving compliments. It's a message of this is the time now to give the compliments.
Exactly.
Okay, I didn't know that before because 18 years sitting here, we always gave compliments when they're appropriate, but I can handle that. That makes sense. Just getting some feedback on Councillor Bobick and I talked to others. That it seems to me the majority of our community want the left-hand turn. They don't want a roundabout, so I just throw that out, and I would agree on that. I think that left-hand turn is far more of a priority. On December 20th, 30th, I had the pleasure of attending Pastor Padre Bob Lewis's retirement. They held it at the Legion, and a real good mix of people, and an honorable, kind person who's done a lot for our community, Mr. Lewis. And I want to thank you, Mr. Lewis, for the work you did for our community and will continue to do for, I'm assuming you're not going anywhere. Soon, on January the 22nd, the medical service team, recruit and retain team are having a meeting in the morning and the afternoon, followed with the PMH. But I would like to hear from the community, are there any suggestions of things that you would like the recruit retain committee to be doing that perhaps we're not doing to recruit medical professionals, keep medical professionals? Because right now there's a group of about 9 of us meet regularly, and I keep thinking there's some bright men and women out there who have some good ideas to share, so I encourage you to touch base with me. Then in the afternoon, we meet with Prairie Mountain Health, Trina Slate, the Executive Director of Prairie Mountain Health, to talk about our concerns and our compliments, because I hope it's mostly compliments, where we can work with Prairie Mountain Health. So if you have suggestions you'd like us to bring to PMH, we have some, of course, I'd encourage you to touch base with myself or any other board members. Deputy Mayor Moriaux is also on that committee with me. And he's a key guy, Mr. Moriaux. He's a daughter of I's and crossers of T's. When we took the doctor up the other day, she had a lot of technical questions about who pays for what within the hospital system, where they go when, what is overtime, what is not, what's for fee-for-service. Deputy Moriaux did an exemplary job. So I think that's about it, sir, for now. Thank you.
Okay. Maybe CO Tewnion, maybe we can maybe send councillors a record of our, or a copy of our procedures bylaw. Councillor Powell.
You know what, I don't have a lot to report on, but there is a lot of things going on in Swan River. There's lots of, we've got all the snow, the ski hill, and it's like, there's so many things that we should be, we can take part, and people should, really stop at some of the places that we have. Like the ski hill is like by far, that is a first class, we have things that are happening at the rink. There's lots of things going on there as well. So just I spent some time away from Swan River recently and in a little community, and you come back and you really do kind of appreciate that your small towns, and there is a lot of really great things that are happening in here. So we should just all be, I think if we dug a little deeper, we can all realize how much is going on. So, yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Councillor McKenzie.
I'm scared to say anything, I'll get chastised like Councillor Whyte. I have nothing, but I do have a question for Danielle while I'm here. The meeting on January the 8th, the time and the place, I need to know.
What was that?
We have a meeting on January the 8th.
Yeah,
Is it here?
I think so.
Okay.
I was assuming. I have it at 3 p.m.
Okay.
I believe it's here. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That's all.
Good, okay, thank you. Councillor Bobick.
I'd just like to compliment my wife for picking up a very nice sweater for me today, so it'd be really nice of her to go get that, so
Nice.
I'm proud of her taste. Just to mention, Councillor Whyte, I was on the web looking, there's a new thing in Alberta, I guess they started it so far, it's called getcheck.ca, and it's like a mobile check for prostate cancer. Just something to throw some fuel in the fire, somewhere might be a good idea to check it out. If you get a chance, just Google it, it's pretty interesting. Ride for Reason's gonna start in our first meetings this weekend, so there's some interesting ideas coming up. So again, I'll remind you that the Ride for a Reason donated $14,000 to people in need this year, so keep that in mind. Just to let you know, Watershed's election is January 15th, and I'll be letting my name stand for Upper Swan Lobster Creek. That's it, thank you.
Good luck on that. Director Harvey.
Yeah, just as was mentioned earlier, I'd like to thank the guys that were in on the weekend following Christmas. Working long hours during the day and other guys working at night to get the roads opened up. And then just a general shout out to the volunteers in the valley. As mentioned at Thunder Hill, I was up there 3 times so far. And it's really nice up there, and I know there's paid employees, but there's a lot of volunteer hours on the board, grooming, and then as well as gymnastics. And there's volunteers that put a lot of hours in organizing and sitting on board for that. It's good to see in the valley.
Absolutely. Thank you. Dr. Gordon-Broome.
Okay, well, actually, further to what Director Harvey said, I went up to the fireworks they had at Thunder Hill for New Year's Eve, and so it was chilly, but it was really well done. Lots of volunteers in place to do that, and so it was really a cool thing to see another organization in our community, putting on such an event like that for our public, and lots of people were out night skiing and stuff. It was really cool. Otherwise, I just want to welcome everyone to 2026. It'll be a busy year in recreation, filled with, growth and positive change, but there's a lot of work to be done with some very exciting things happening. So I'm really looking forward to what we can work together to achieve this year. So.
Good, thank you. CFO Gnida.
Nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. CFO Tewnion.
Not much, Your Worship, other than I would be remiss not to point, it's been a rough go with the snowfall, trying to balance the needs of council, the needs of our constituents, and our requirement to do enforcement, all combined, and keep everybody happy at the same time. But I think we're doing a great job, and that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. I was going to start on the snow removal, and I think they're doing a very good job. I spent a lot of time, as Councillor Powell said, out of the community, and our guys have been doing an outstanding job, even right through Christmas when we had holidays, and they were getting out there to get most major roadways cleaned up or opened up. Not only that, we don't even realize that once they get going, they might get, say, halfway done, then a whole bunch of snow comes, and they got to start all over again. So all the other streets that are really, I don't want to say lesser priority, but, down there, then they're just kind of piled up. So this is a domino effect that people don't realize that. But I think for what we have and the work crew that we have, they're doing an outstanding job, and I know administration is scheduling and trying to work with them. I even was told over Christmas, I think maybe one or two of them had come from their holidays to actually drive be an operator for our graders. So kudos to all the guys that are doing a good job. And we have to be, you know, it's tough to deal with a lot of snow at one time, you know, but you know, they'll get through it, and this will one day just be a memory, and the snow will be gone. Outdoor rink, I'm glad to see that that's functioning again. That's a big part of our hockey people that really like to spend some time outside on their skates. The ski hill, I was up there the other day, and you're right, it's amazing how, and people that love to snowboard and ski. My son wanted to get out there first thing in the morning on Sunday because he said we have to get to the powder, you know, and they just absolutely had a great day. And what a gem, you don't have to drive very far to take them and really enjoy something that so many good volunteers have put together in our community. And then of course, you know, we mentioned, you know, snow, but our snowmobile trails, remember them. And we have miles and miles of snowmobile trails that hundreds of volunteers keep maintained through the year and provide, you know, a lot of activity and recreation to people that don't necessarily just come from Swan River, but they come from places elsewhere, and they spend money in our community. So that's a big economic development driver as well as the ski hill and others. Last month, I think I told you all that we had a couple of employees that were working at Prairie Mountain Health in the hospital that potentially having their immigration credentials being shortened here in January, and so there had been some, you know, work with the government. I had a chance to speak with the Premier on it and with some of the other ministers, with the MLA Wolchuk, and it sounds like they have been able to work out a deal for them, so they are working on extending that and maybe something even permanent, but that we'll know more about that in the next little bit. But when we work together, we can make sure our people that we need in our community stay here, and especially in healthcare where we need those people here. So I had a chance to speak with the young man yesterday, and he's very appreciative of all our committee people that have been working hard in healthcare and making sure that we recruit as all the people that we need in our community. And I think that's it for me. So we'll move on. So 14, be it resolved that pursuant to sections 152.3 of the Municipal Act, Council will go into committee and close the meeting to the public to discuss two items. We are discussing some legal matters and some items on MTI. Discussion, moved by Councillor Duane Whyte, seconded by Councillor McKenzie. All in favor? It's carried. We're in camera. So we're out of camera, and we have no items arising out of camera. So we'll head to 17 for adjournment. Be it resolved that this regular meeting of council will now be adjourned at 8:31 p.m. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Powell. All in favor? It's carried. We're adjourned.